Jana, welcome to Let's Be
Hello.
Frank.
Thank you for having me. I'm actually so excited.
I am so excited to have you here. It was obviously supposed to be you and Kristen,
Yes.
the owners of With Prime Skin, but we've got you here just as good, just as beautiful.
Yeah, apologies,
just
Kristen
as iconic.
is in the midst of her final semester at uni. So
As
she's
everyone is, and it's
she's
so
very stressed.
understandable.
Yeah.
It's so understandable.
Yeah.
I mean, this time of year for uni students is crazy.
I know.
But we have you here to talk about With
I'm
Prime
so
Skin
excited.
and your journey. So I'm so excited anyway. We had your launch event 2 weeks ago, which was
Yeah.
first, I think it was 2 weeks ago.
I know. We were just like, was it last week?
It's all a bit of a
It's
blur.
been so crazy since. I just feel like, it's like all the days are kind of morphed into one. But yeah, that was so much fun. And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you
Did
for
you have
having
a good
me.
night?
Oh, it was so much fun. The space was beautiful. And everyone I spoke to, I was just talking about the difference between your first launch event to your most recent. The growth is crazy.
So crazy.
And
so grateful you were there, like even from the first event. Like that first event, we kind of, that was a bit of a last minute decision because we actually were planning this like really big event and it was like going to cost quite a bit. And we had like venue locked in, catering, everything. And then we were like, hang on a sec, like I think we just got ahead of ourselves and we're like, this is, a new business. We were like, let's go out with a bang. But then we were like, I actually think that when you have those like intimate kind of events, you can like talk to everyone, share your story.
it was so gorgeous.
So yeah, we pulled that together really quick. But yeah, the one 2 weeks ago was really fun.
It was so much
Way
fun.
more organised than the first one, but it was good.
So much fun and it was so good. I just literally was in awe when I walked in.
Oh, thank you.
Especially considering I was thinking about when I walked in there and the last couple of weeks, how we first connected over TikTok when you guys were, I wouldn't even know what you would call it, a blog.
Yes.
You were kind of just popping off on TikTok with your skincare like tips, favorite products. What would you call that like time of your business?
Yes. That was just a bit of like kind of, I'd almost say it was like a pre-launch strategy because what we wanted to do is I feel like it's important with anyone who's like launching a business. I think it's very hard in this day and age to launch something when you don't have, because of just the power of social media, if you don't have like a personal brand or a big following, it's like who are you actually launching to? So we kind of wanted to create a bit of like an audience or just like a community that like followed us. We could share like beauty tips and tricks and like give people a reason to follow. I feel like back in the day, like mood board accounts were like the thing. And
everyone was a
followed.
big era on TikTok.
Yeah, like I think Starlight actually started off like that. Like they were like a mood board account and then now they do fashion and it kind of like is intertwined. But yeah, so we were just like wanting to post tips and tricks and do that on Instagram. I think we did it for like a solid year before we launched. Same on TikTok. And then, that's how we reached out because we wanted to like work with some people and ask them like their three favorite beauty
three
products?
or four. And I was like, I have no idea about skincare. I was just like pulled some random products together. And I was like,
Yeah, because we were like, it's actually interesting. And then we thought like, we could kind of do it like it's interesting because people can kind of, recognize someone else's face and like they'll want to watch the video or listen or engage. So, I kind of got that tip from Priscilla, who owns Banging Body. I was listening to a podcast she was on and she said that before she launched her iconic that tube, the yellow tube, she calls the yellow tube of goodness. She did the same thing. I think she built it back then to like 50K or something. Whereas I found, I don't know if you find the same now, like it's so hard to build a following.
Yeah.
It's just, the algorithm and just social media in general is so hard to crack now.
Getting pushed out constantly.
Totally.
Yeah.
So we were like, what's the reason for people to follow us? Just another account. But so
the beginning.
The beginning of Prime,
Let's go back to the beginning. Talk about how you and Kristen met. You obviously are this like full boss bitch duo going on. You're besties and you've started this incredible company.
So chaotic together.
How did you two meet? Were you immediately friends or did you kind of grow together?
Yeah, so we were always friends. So our dads actually worked together. They'd been business partners, I think, since like 2012 or like 2014 or something like that. So we'd always known like their family and like we'd do things together. Like have dinners every now and then and like I'd always known her as like, dad's business partner's daughter sort of thing. And we were never really close like growing up. And then it just kind of like 2 years, I think 2022 it was, we actually were overseas at the same time together. And I said to Chris, and I was like, hey, like I think we were literally in like Greece or something. And I was like, do you want to we didn't realize like our dates overlapped. I was like, do you want to hang out with like me this week or like just come along to everything we've planned or pre-booked? And she was like, yeah, why not? And she came along and we just like instantly just from then just grew really close. And I think I don't know, we like hung out, we grew really close, and then we were just like talking and because I'd always kind of worked on like Prime had always been an idea that I'd had since like I think it was like 2021 or something, and I'd always had it at the back of my mind of the like this idea that I'd always wanted to do but didn't know where to start. And Kristen comes more from like an economics background, she's still in uni, so she's got kind of skills that I don't have. Like I come from a marketing background, digital marketing, so I'm
more
shocking
the creative
at,
side.
shocking at like finance. An area
feel
that I'm trying to get better at. So I was like, hey, like it's also so much fun when you share a journey of something that you start from the ground up with someone else. So I spoke to her and I was like, hey, like I've got this idea. I think this was like December. And I was like, do you want to be a part of it? Like it's still very, very early on. We had the Instagram, I think it had just started. She was like, yeah, I'd love to. So we worked on it behind the scenes for ages. And I think the thing with beauty is people don't understand like how long it can take to like launch or like just create a product.
Into it. Yeah.
We can go into it more. I'm sure you've got questions, but it just is like, it was a bit of a wild ride, but I'm so happy I got to share it with her, which was really fun.
Was skincare something you bonded over, or was just Prime an idea that you had and you were like, let's do this?
Yeah, I think it was more just an idea like I had, and I was like, I don't know, we kind of spoke about, because both of our dads are in business and obviously they work together, so we kind of had always like, you know, looked up to them or like asked them for advice, and they both work in the pharmaceutical space, so it's not exactly beauty skincare, but it's like sort of, we'd always hear stories realm, sort of in the same realm. So I don't know, we were like, we've got a really good network around us. We could ask for advice and guidance when we need, because at the end of the day, we're like still super young. But I think, she's always loved beauty and skincare. She, so it just kind of worked. Yeah. And she was really excited.
What was your original visioning with Prime? Obviously, you've got the beautiful blue and white. Oh my God, it was so different. It was so different. I think when we thought of it, we wanted to reach out to someone that was, you know, we felt like was a really strong designer in the field. So we reached out to, shout out to Justine Malone. She's great. Malone Co. is her business. And we reached out to her and I was like, hey, I've got this idea. Like, can you help me build like a brand identity deck? Because that's sort of what you do at the start, just to get like a feel and understanding of like what the business is going to look like. So we sat down with her, and in my brain, I really wanted it to be like pink, like Kylie Cosmetics pink. Yeah. And I was like, yep, this is the color. I've got the vision. And then she was like, hang on a second, like, have you thought about how many brands out there are pink? And I was like, yeah, like I know, but like it's fine. Like I just think it will work. And she was like, okay, let me just do a little bit more market research. You know, you go to the professionals for a reason. And she like went into like, for example, like a few stores like Mecca, and she was like, I actually realized that like 70% of the brands in Mecca are pink. You need to do a different color. And I was like, no, I'm really like, I can be a bit stubborn. I was like, no, I really love the pink. So then she like proposed like 3 kind of design aesthetics / visions. And what you do is you kind of then like narrow it down from there. And it was like a pale cream, like pearlescent creamy color. It was then like, still did the pink to make me happy. And then she had this like, the icy frost blue. And I was like, this is really cool. I was like, I don't know if blue's too like masculine. And then she was like, no, trust me, I think you've got to do this color, because no one's really done it. Like Summer Fridays sort of, but I feel like they're more known as that, you know, like the jet lag mask, like darker blue. So yeah, it's so different.
What
I
it
love
was.
It's gorgeous.
And it's just kind of like evolved since, and just now we've got like, it's just kind of like our color. I feel like from a branding perspective, like color's like really important, because like you think of brands, it's like, for example, like bringing up Banging Body again, I'm like, I think of them like the yellow brands.
Immediate yellow.
Alive Skin was like the pink brand. Even Gem, like, you know, the frosty mint color. It's like, I feel like it's such an important part of branding. So she suggested that colour. And that's how the Prime colour brand was born.
And if you weren't doing Prime full-time right now, where do you think you would have ended up? Do you think you would have ended up still in the beauty space or something completely different?
I actually, a lot of my work experience prior to, doing Prime was actually in like fashion, and I was really lucky. I've had a few internships at like a couple companies. I've been in like Tony Bianco, Vic and Woods, the Loft agency. I had a job at the New Trend right before I left that to do Prime full time. So I feel like I would have been in the fashion space, and I love fashion. I'm sure you love fashion too. It's just so much fun. I think just like because it's so creative and like
definitely.
I feel like
it goes hand in hand with beauty as well.
It does. Like they're actually really similar. Like a lot of other founders I talk to that run fashion brands, it's like so similar. I just think like, the main difference is obviously just like with beauty, your MOQs, so your minimum order quantities of like how many products you've got to order to go into production is very high. Definitely. It's like it's very rare to find someone that can do less than like 1,000 units. I just don't think it's possible.
With you.
Yeah. So and willing to accept like a small startup business. I think like, I don't know. I think I probably would have been in fashion, which is funny, but
much of a muchness.
Yeah,
as well.
They're kind of a similar. So
I love both. Yeah. Going back to you and Kristen and being co-founders and friends, how do you balance being friends and being co-founders? Do you ever clash heads? How do you work out disagreements within the business?
If she was here, I feel like she would have laughed at that. I think it was interesting because before we'd like gone into business, we obviously would like becoming friends. So I think we weren't familiar with like how each other kind of worked, because you're very different when you're working compared to how you're hanging out with a friend. So I think like we get along really easy. Like we always like we trust each other's like judgment, and like if she's in charge of a certain like task or role, like I trust her 100% to like make the right decision or call. But there was definitely times, I think because Prime was in the works for so long, and we hit like major setbacks early on with production. So it's like pushed everything out by like almost a year. And I think during that like almost waiting period, because, we didn't have product, we were kind of like still building this Instagram. We were like, what do we do from then until now? I think that was a bit of a tricky period because, we like did clash at times. Like we were kind of just deciding or like we'd clash on like stupid things that we didn't even need to worry about yet. But, you work through it. It kind of makes your friendship stronger as well. And we try to
unknown.
Try to like, I don't know, we hang out even like outside of work and stuff as well. So it's not like we're
keeping
just
the balance.
You keep the balance, which is super important and easy.
And being able to separate work and personal life.
I feel like we'd go crazy if all we spoke about was Prime. You'd be like, I'm sick of you, like turn off.
Up. Yeah. Moving into more of your skincare side of things, obviously with Prime is all skincare right now and what you're building. Did you ever have your own skincare concerns growing up? Did you ever have your own skincare challenges growing up? What was your journey like with your relationship with your skin and your skincare journey? I have always been that sort of person that like, I'm sure there's like so many people out there that are like this as well. I don't know, skin for me was just something I really like obsessed and stressed over for some weird reason. Like me too.
If I had like one pimple, I would like freak out. I'd be like, oh my God, like this is the end of the world. Like, no, I don't want to see anyone. I don't want to go out. And like it really actually impacted like my confidence or like even mental health. During school was really hard. I was on Roaccutane twice. The first time I didn't wean off it like properly. So apparently you need to like slowly reduce your dose. Anyway, so my acne was kind of coming back. But and I would be like, I was like an avid picker. Like I would.
I still am.
Like, I still am.
My mom kills me every single time.
I will like touch my face, and then what I'll do is I'll literally make it worse, and then I'll like put some, like I wasn't that educated with like skincare products and like even just like cosmeceuticals or things that had like strong percentages of like acid and stuff in them. Like I literally, there was one, I have a photo I can show you after, I was like burning my skin almost. Like I was putting so much drying, so like spot treatments on overnight that it's literally the day before school photos as well. I had all these like, not even pimples, just like burnt spots.
Yeah.
It was bizarre. And like when your skin is like healing like that, you can't actually really cover it because it's like a scab almost.
Yeah, no. When it gets to the scab stage.
Oh my God, the scab stage. So I came to school the next day. I had that many layers of foundation on. My skin was like literally orange. My PE teacher was like, oh, this is a new look. Like, are you always wearing this much makeup now? And like, I remember I was like so embarrassed. My friends from school,
at least they didn't make you take it off.
Oh no, I like couldn't. I was like, I actually won't get in the photo if I have to take it off. Like, so I think for me, like, skin had just always been just a crazy thing I'd obsess. So even when I went to the dermatologist, I would always be that person that would ask them, I'm like, what does this do? Or like, what's in this? Or like, I'd just be really curious.
And even like the whole social media world and the
totally
overconsumption of the content surrounding the skincare area. I remember when I was younger and I was going through a phase with my skin.
Yeah.
The amount of stuff that I was intaking and just products I was buying whatever I saw just to try and fix it.
Literally.
And everything I tried made it worse.
Yeah, because you're like layering it all on. You think like more is better, but it's actually doing the opposite because a lot of products like they aren't compatible or like it'll do like the adverse like kind of effect and it would just ruin your skin barrier. And it's like, what, like, I think, like you said, social media is so interesting. Yeah, because like you just see all this stuff and like there's a lot of like incorrect content that's out there that people are saying or, you know, they're not like I'm not like I don't have a science background or studied beauty or anything like that, but we work with a really, really good chemist. Our like filling facility is actually in Melbourne. So everything's like Australian made and we're really fortunate enough. Her name's Sarah and she has an assistant called Natalie. So we work with the two of them and I'm always asking her questions. I'm like, what about this ingredient? Or can we add this to make it better? And it's so interesting. I feel like that has been an area that I've had to like kind of teach myself from doing Prime is like the kind of formulations and that like aspect of business, I think. And like, it's been really interesting. I think because like when you're young and you've got that like interest in it, I don't know, you kind of just like it kind of grows from that or stems from that almost. Yeah.
Going through the stages of creating the products and learning about it, how did you decide between obviously the clean beauty, ideal, efficiency and everyday practicality when formulating your products?
Yeah, I think it was just honestly like because our products, like they aren't intended for people that have, we call them like we have this like group of people and it's like, you know, people that want like a targeted solution. Like if you've got like acne, probably like don't use our products. Like go to the dermatologist, get on like a routine or get products that they recommend like cosmeceuticals. We're kind of more just for the people that are like lazy skincare users, like don't really know that much about it, don't really know what certain ingredients do. They just want something that's like, you know, they can like something that's been created that just works, is clean, easy to use.
Has good ingredients.
Yeah, good ingredients and isn't just like overwhelming. I think the thing with Prime, like it was really born out of like just trying to battle the like over consumerism of like products and brands trying to sell you like 10 different products to achieve one look. It's like it's just marketing.
Especially
like you don't need all that.
Mecca skincare section. You don't know what anything means. You don't.
Totally.
There's different levels of brands that are in there as well. There's obviously brands that have the better marketing towards the tweens and the younger teenage generations that do better, but you don't actually know what's in them or what they're actually doing.
Yeah, you're like, oh, the packaging looks nice.
Yeah,
like
the packaging, the marketing,
It's crazy. And I think like, I mean, the people in Mecca are really well trained. Like if you need to ask them like questions, they can assist you. But I think, just the average person who's just kind of walking in there and just wants something that works, it's kind of, it can be overwhelming because there's so many options. So I think that's why we try to really hone in on like multi-purpose, because it's kind of like you can really use the product in a way that fits into like your routine or how you want to use it. And then, you know, you don't need to buy like 3 separate products and just, you know, be overwhelmed and spend so much money on building like a routine and things like that. So, yeah.
What's one trend or myth that you think does more harm than good in the skincare world?
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, actually this is really totally unrelated to like Prime, but even just skin needling, people think that's really bad for your skin, but it's actually
I've been seeing so much about it lately.
I'm loving it. I'm on my skin needling journey. Shout out to the Skin Bar. I go to them and honestly I've noticed like crazy results from it. I think people think that.
I mean, your skin is insane. I literally can't stop staring at your skin.
We've
right
got
now.
a few breakouts that I've touched, but I've covered them. Anyways, thank you. But yeah, I think that people get really freaked out because like, why are these like little micro needles like scratching at your face? Like that's so bad. And I'm like, no, but it's actually encouraging like the skin to kind of heal itself and produce like more collagen and gets rid of acne scarring and things that we did when we were younger. So I think that's a good one. Yeah. I actually highly recommend it. Short-term pain for long-term gain.
When you guys started formulating, do you think you were formulating for yours and Kristen's skin concerns or just what you wanted for your skin, or were you more focused on your community and what you think they were looking for?
It was definitely the community. I mean, like Kristen and I, like again, like we're consumers of the brand too. So I think we kind of like we asked a lot of like the benefit of having the community that we were building whilst we were formulating was we could ask them like questions, polls, question boxes, all those sorts of things like what do you look for or what products are you loving at the moment, et cetera. And then also
those insights,
you had those insights. I mean, you do your research as well, like don't just go off Instagram. But yeah, we were also like people, like a big thing that we formulated around was like people always love like even like the clean at Sephora, like the little just approved like icon or stamp and things like that. So all our products are like we formulate them to be at that level because you never know where your brand or business is going to go in the future. So I feel like it's good to just kind of think of these things from the start as well. Hopefully one day if we're ever in stores or something like that, we can say, oh, we're actually clean at Sephora already. We don't need to reformulate anything. Yeah. But yeah.
How do you think your personal skin goals have changed through evolving your brand?
I think I've just really kind of honed into like the less is more approach again. And like I used to have so many products. Like it was crazy. So I think I really just like it hit me. I just did a huge clean out. I just really focused on like what my skin needs or I feel like it needs that day. Like if it's super dry, if I feel like it's more oily than normal, like I think you can just really cut back on just using
the amount of products you use in a day,
and thinking that that's just going to solve everything. So I think that that's changed for me since doing Prime for sure. Less is more.
You touched on obviously when you were creating Prime and formulating the products that you did the Instagram polls and you asked your community what they wanted. How do you think your community, other than that, impacted the evolution of Prime, product ideas and how you show up on social media?
I think they were great because like they really validated a lot of our ideas. I think it's hard when it's a really small team. I mean, it was just Kristen and I. We did have another like employee who we brought on like as we were building the business. I think you know Chloe, you're friends with Chloe. Yeah, Chloe. So we brought Chloe on board and like it was literally just us three. And I think like when you are such a small team, it is like really only kind of like you really think about like your three opinions and that was really hard because I think we were like, because we need to like go out and actually ask other people like, is this a good idea? Is this a product you'd want to use? Because us three could think it's like the best idea ever, but then we could go out and be like, oh no, like I wouldn't buy that. I wouldn't waste my money on that. And just talking to like friends, family, I've got 2 sisters, so I'd always like hound them with questions. I'm like, oh, like, do you like this color? Or like, is scent a thing for you? Or like, you know, or even just ask their friends and like annoy them as well. But I think like definitely validating your ideas with other people is so important in the early stages for sure. Because you could think something's amazing, but 10 other people think it's like dumb or stupid or they wouldn't buy it.
It's not necessary for
Not
them.
necessary, yeah. They're like, it's great, but I wouldn't buy it.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, cool.
What were some of the growing pains you had in the early stages? Obviously, you said you had some production issues during the middle there.
Yeah, I think this is an interesting question because we made so many mistakes in that period of time. I think it really kind of went like this. So Kristen and I, we spoke about doing it together. We were like, okay, we're going to invest money into this. Like we're actually going to give this a really good go. We both put like, X amount in. And then I think because we had this investment of money, we're like, okay, now where do we spend it? Where do we allocate it?
Yeah, because there's so much.
There's so many things that you need to think about and things that like come up that you don't even think about.
Yeah.
And I think from the early stages we maybe got really excited and we didn't have all of the fundamentals just set up properly. Like, I don't know, even just things like where you want to be in the future, like where you want to be distributed or sold, like where do you see your brand? I think even things like that, and then the pricing, and like we had those things like in mind, but I don't think we like really explored it like properly. So anyways, basically we made a few mistakes with our, like even we lost a lot of money early on from things that we didn't need to do.
Yeah.
We like for example, packaging. Packaging's funny because the first product actually wasn't meant to be Jelly Plump. It was meant to be Ready to Glow, and it was meant to be not in the packaging it's in now with the really cool I love this product, the roller applicator with the stainless steel applicator. It was actually meant to be like literally that product in a jar, typical jar, like with it was going to be a glass jar. And it was going to be like thicker. I don't know, it was a really weird product. I've still got the first sample like in my bathroom somewhere and I look at it, I'm like, no thanks. So we were like, okay, like how do we stand out on shelf? And we're like, first thing we thought of was obviously packaging because, you know, like Glow Recipe was a brand we looked at and we're like so many people in like kind of the target market we were going after buy that product based off packaging. So we were like, okay, cool, like let's find someone who can make us really cool packaging. So we actually reached out to like 2 different suppliers. One of them was based in Sydney and they were like industrial designers. So what that means is like they create like 3D renders and like CADs and stuff of like the packaging but that's a really expensive avenue to go down. And I think Kristen and I didn't realise how expensive it was going to be and we wasted like literally close to $25,000 doing that. And we still own like the designs now and the final CADs, but we never went to production with them. So I wouldn't say it was like a waste of money. We learned so much about doing custom packaging through that. I mean, this company we worked with, they've got brands that are like in Mecca and stuff. So they were like super professional. And yeah, so we did that. That was a waste of money. Then we had to go back to the drawing board, find packaging again, off the shelf this time, which means you can like, it already exists. You just can basically customize the finishes and stuff like that. So found this supplier, was actually working with a third party to do this because Kristen and I thought like we'd never done this before. We want to make sure we're working with someone
who knows what they're doing.
Because then it comes down to like even just freight and logistics, like getting the packaging here into Australia. What are the costs? How does that even work? Like we were literally starting this business without having really done a lot of these things before. So we just wanted to find people that could help us that were like professionals on you. So went to a third party and trusted them and paid a deposit. They found this factory for us that was overseas. And then we got an email, I remember like the first week of January, like start of the new year. Get this email. It was like, hey, we were meant to launch in March, right? Yeah. So we needed our packaging to be shipped. We got this email and it was like, hey, your packaging has failed quality control, meaning that it was actually going to arrive into the country like quite dusty, which led to contamination issues if we were to fill the jars. So it would mean we had to spend thousands of dollars like cleaning all these units we had ordered. And I was like, this is not good enough. Like we went with this company because you guys are professionals at this.
That's so disappointing.
Yeah, it was really disappointing. And then they were like, actually good news though, we can find another one and we're going to hold on to your deposit till we find another one. And we that just was going to push us back like 6 months. And we were like, we can't like
Did they expect you to pay again or?
Well, they were like, we're going to hold on to your deposit. And we were like, oh, okay, because we really trusted them to find another suitable supplier. But then when we like kind of thought about it, we were like, hang on a sec, like why do we need these people to start from scratch again for us? Like when we can just ask our network of people, again, saying like our dads were both in kind of the industry. They knew a few founders. I reached out to a few personally, like just on LinkedIn or Instagram. And some people are really, really helpful and like don't gatekeep and were like, here, I recommend this person. I can introduce you via email. And we literally did it ourselves and they wouldn't give our deposit back. So again, we lost a chunk load of money.
That's crazy.
With that company as well. So I think going like back to your question, sorry, I went a bit off track, but we lost a lot of money early on from not being organised or prepared properly, I'd say. And I think
but all comes with learning as you go and being new to this.
It was all learning.
You would not know.
Yeah. So I actually, looking back, I'm not grateful we went through all that because, it'd be nice to have all that money back. But it was definitely a really good learning lesson. And it's taught us now, like, we know the right way to, like, find a product, formulate it, get the packaging, fill it. And I think just because it was the first time round, you make those mistakes. It takes way longer than expected. Yeah, a lot of people say you could probably launch a beauty brand in like 9 to 12 months. For us, it took us almost 3 years. So,
I mean, if you really want to put your all into it and be really delicate and put out something you're really proud of, I think
exactly, because you don't want to like just launch for the sake of it and like launch with this one product. I mean, we always wanted to launch with just one product just to kind of see how it would go. And Jelly Plump was more of like our soft launch and just build the brand name and then, go bam with like the next two.
I love Jelly Plump.
I know. We chose to put that one first because I think it's a really unique formula and like there was only one other sort of product. Yeah. I was like, this is fun. And I just thought it was a really cool product. So we actually flipped it around. We were meant to launch Jelly Plump with the mist, but then we were like, you know what, let's do Jelly Plump first and kind of see how it goes. Jelly Plump was the first one we went with and I love it. I still think it's my favorite out of the three. But
I think it's so cool. And I mean, I've never seen anything like it. Like I just said, I think it's so unique and you made the right decision by launching with it first because I'm obsessed. I think we have 4 between us in our house now. So
do you use it as well? Yep.
My mum loves it.
You know how many people message me like, oh, my sister's solid on my mom. And I'm like, I'm happy. Like, I think really like early on now, it's like, it's so important with like brand building is to just, get the brand name out there and like brand awareness. And there's so many different ways you can do that. Like it's so expensive to market because it's just so competitive. So social media is just like, I say to everyone, like the best tool because it's free. You literally don't need to pay to post a TikTok or post like an Instagram post. And you don't need
to pay a creator either.
Yeah, I mean like it's like there's so many people out there that are genuinely just like lovely people that like want to try a product and they can support you. And like and we always say like there's no obligation to post. Like we just literally want you to try the product. And so many people like most of the time like are happy to like do a story or even just incorporate it into like a TikTok or something. And it means so much from like a small business because I'm sure like a lot of like the like larger creators get gifted so many products, but when people like decide to use yours or post, it means a lot. So it's, and people are so supportive, which is great.
Yeah. What is something you would say to yourself when you were in the mood boards, kind of vision board, not knowing what was coming stages of the business?
I'd say again, like the fundamentals are really important. I think planning a business or wanting to start one, you should really think about it in like as a long-term thing, like 3 to 5 years. And it's like, I know that sounds really scary because you don't know where you're going to be in 3 to 5 years, but you just need to think like that. Like you need to think, okay, this is like the plan. Where do eventually we want to be stocked? Because that's a big thing and that really dictates like your price, your brand aesthetic, your marketing from the early age. I know brands evolve and things like that, but I just think it's important to keep these things in mind because you just kind of never know what's going to happen. So I think just really like when you're mood boarding or creating your like brand deck is just to think about those things for sure. And just really like if you want to be a big brand or you want to be successful, you just got to kind of think of like you got to have that mindset from the start because if you're not thinking like that, I just feel like, I don't know, you're not taking it seriously or you'll just get lost. Yeah. You'll get lost in the market. You're going to like hit too, like, I don't know. I think it's just, you just really need to be planned and organized from the start.
Let's go back to Jelly Plump because obviously we went on a full tangent about it 2 seconds ago, but it was your first product. It was a 3-in-1 product, which is such a bold move starting with a multitasker. What made you want to start with a multitasker?
Yeah, so that was like our literal whole brand was built around wanting to do multi-purpose skincare and being kind of known for that because I know that people always argue it's like, yeah, but can't every product be used in different ways? Like, and I really think it just comes down to like your marketing but also formulating it to do what it says it does. Like, you know, if you're a 3-in-1, you need to make sure you achieve everything that you've said it can do on the packaging and things like that. So we really kept all of that in mind, that when we were formulating and working with our chemist, and when she was sending us samples, we needed to make sure like it ticked off, did it cleanse, did it remove the makeup, can we use it as a mask, or do we need to go back to the drawing board and do another sample? Because samples take ages. Samples take, like for us, it takes like 3 weeks to revise a sample. So if we did like 8 samples, like it pushes out time. So I think with Jelly Plump, like we were really lucky, like our chemist that we've gone, like she nailed it really early on. Like I think she really understood like, okay, I see the product you want to make. You do send them like a benchmark product, which is what they use to kind of like
get
the gist of like the product you want to make, like what's the kind of look and feel and texture. So we did that and she really nailed it. And then we kind of were like, do we put a scent in it? Do we not? Because we know people are a bit funny with like fragrances, but ours is like if you have it under like a certain like 1%, if you got under 1% of like your fragrance, it actually is still considered clean and it's not bad for your skin. So we because everyone loves the Jelly Plump scent.
It's so nice.
I just think it's really yummy. We wanted it to like just be something that you know, feels good, smells good. It's a little bit of like a self-care moment when you're like, you know, cleansing your makeup off. Cleansing your makeup off and everything. So yeah, Jelly Plump. I think because we also believed in it and it was such a kind of a unique product, that's also why we wanted to launch with it, because we were like, okay, it kind of stands out a bit. It's a bit different. It's not like we're just launching like a typical moisturizer or something, because everyone's got a moisturizer.
Definitely, yeah.
So yeah.
What was the original vision behind like the Jelly Plump? How did you come up with that? Because like you said, like I've said, it is so unique. How did you actually come up with this product?
I think I was on TikTok or something, and there was like a product that came up like on my For You page or something. It was like, I think a Korean brand or something like that had a similar product like in a tub with the jelly consistency. And I was like, that's really cool, because a lot of these sorts of cleansers are like in tubes and like people do that for a reason. It's like kind of airless, and like also with Jelly Pump, the thing is you got to go in with like clean hands. Otherwise, if you pop a little bit of water, it can like emulsify. But so people were like, that's a bit of a bold move, like putting it in a jar. But I actually think like that's part of like the whole experience is seeing the formula. It's like that's what's kind of selling the product or makes someone wanting to use it, because it's like you can actually see what you're putting on your face and like the consistency in the jelly. So I was like, no, it's got to be in a jar. And
I think because it has so many different uses, having it in the jar also helps that experience as well.
Totally, yeah.
I feel like if it was in a squeezy tube or something, having it be a makeup cleanser and a mask and all of the rest, it would not have the same experience at all.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, a jar was the way to go for us.
What has been the strangest or the most shocking feedback you've gotten since launching?
Oh my God, we had this DM and someone was like, my dog found the Jelly Plump and started like licking the lid. And I was like,
because of the scent?
And I was like, oh, this is really weird. Like, thanks for telling us. And I was like, thanks for telling us. And like, it just like popped on my phone. I was like, this is whack. And then I like think I put on my close friends or something like, lol, this is funny. And then like someone else responded and was like, oh my God, my dog's done this too. And I'm like, oh, okay. So maybe like.
So skincare for dogs incoming?
Skincare for dogs. Yeah. Like Jelly Plump for dogs. Yeah, I was like, okay, firstly, like, where did you put the product and like how did your dog get to it? But that's fine. So I think that was a bit weird, but yeah, I mean, people are like, sometimes you get those like random messages, but it's kind of funny.
That's so funny. You've launched 2 more products. Obviously, you had your launch event last week. Where did the ideas for those products? What are those products? What was the process of creating these new products come from?
I mean, it was so fun. So Kristen and I were really fortunate enough to go to Bologna in 2 years ago. What's that? 2023. With our dads who are also going for just kind of like the industry. So every year there's like a big conference called Cosmoprof, and it's like the biggest packaging cosmetics conference like in the world. And like everyone kind of goes there for this like 3-day fair almost. And you basically go to like meet with suppliers, meet with like formulators or like just people in the industry of like all sorts. Like it's huge. It's literally like it's like 10 buildings and it's just packed with people. And we went to this, and I think like when we went, because we went this year as well, but when we went 2 years ago, we were just kind of like in the early stages. We didn't really kind of know what we were going for, like, but we just kind of went to kind of see it and experience it. And while we were there, we found or met this like supplier who we still work with now that does packaging, and they're great. They have this like online catalog, and that's where we saw the packaging for Ready to Glow.
Yeah.
I came across, I was like, oh my God. I was like, what is this? I was like, this is cool, because for us, because the industry is so competitive, we really want to focus on creating more like unique ways to like apply the products, or really hone in on like packaging even being our main point of difference, and like having those like tech applicators and like just make it a bit different and fun. Yeah. So we saw this and I was like, how cool would this be if it was like, I'm just like obsessed with chrome and like silver and like, I don't know, I'm having a thing for this color at the moment. And I was like, this needs to be in like a chrome tube. It needs to be edgy, cool, modern. And then that product, we were almost really close to not launching it because it's so unique, it doesn't actually kind of fit on like a typical conveyor belt to like fill it. So we had to order this like unique custom tooling from China or something. And that costed like $4,000 or something. And they literally, like, we had no choice because otherwise they weren't able to fill our product. So it was a bit of a pain to get Ready to Glow, but we got there in the end. I persisted. I was like, nah, we need it in this packaging. It's like part of the experience and like why I'd want to buy it and try it, because like, I don't know, I'm just obsessed with using it, especially if have you kept it in the fridge or like
No, but in the mornings lately, because it's been so cold, I've been putting it on my eyes, like using the roller on my eyes.
It's the best. It's so like good. When it's cold, it just deep puffs. It's the best. So,
and even as a makeup primer, I've been loving it as a makeup primer.
Interestingly enough, our benchmark product for that was the Road Peptide Glazing Fluid.
Yeah.
And
which I've never used.
Yeah, if anyone's used it before, it's like very, very similar, if not maybe like the tiniest bit thicker. So I find it kind of lasts a bit longer. But yeah, we use that. But I just found that like, I mean, she sold it because she's like, Hayley, she's got beautiful skin, and it's an amazing product. It's great. But yeah, I think we were like, how could we create sort of this sort of formula of consistency, but like make it different at the same time? And that's how that one came across. And then with Glass Mist, we saw this setting spray that had this ingredient in it. It's mica. So that's why Glass Mist has that like pearlescent finish when you shake it. And funnily enough with that, I actually realized that I forgot to put on the bottle like shake before use. So we've got like 5,000 units of bottles that just don't have this like shake. I'm like, surely people are smart and they shake it. But
and mine stays.
Yeah,
mixed,
does it? So. That's good, because when we first got it, we're like, oh, it doesn't look like how we want it to. But then we shook it and like all the like pearlescent pigment just like kind of just floating around. I was like, oh, this is what it's meant to look like now. So yeah, and I was like, how can we make this something that's like, you know, just a dewy facial spray, but like also something you can like use on the go, like put on your face after like sun exposure, and it's got a lot of aloe vera and it's cooling and just looks great on the skin. So kind of made sense to launch those two at the same time because they kind of complement each other.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
How was the development process for these two products different to when you were developing Jelly Plump?
So we kind of like, because we were in a period where we were waiting for so long to launch, we had, I guess, more time to formulate and create other products. So because we just were having absolute nightmares with our packaging, it kind of gave us an extra year to be like, okay, like let's think pipeline, MPD down, like let's think new product development. Like what do we kind of want to come out with in the future? And I think we developed like about 7 formulas during that time that we've got now and may or may not be coming soon. But we've got like, I think during that time we were like, okay, let's now map out how we want to roll these out. Like, because obviously they're big investments whenever you want to launch a new product. Like you got to buy high amounts of volume of packaging, formula, unit cartons, just everything, like shipping boxes, thank you cards, just literally there's so many costs involved. So we were like, what do we think is, you know, a kind of good launch timeline for these? And if we'd had it our way, I think we would have loved Jelly Plump to have been launched a bit earlier, because we did launch it around like Black Friday and coming close to Christmas, but we literally couldn't have pushed it back anymore because it would have been like Christmas time, and it's like, who cares? Like people are just focusing on buying like presents for Christmas. So yeah, that was a bit of a tricky time to launch, I'd say, very close to Black Friday. And that's a time of the year where like every brand is going ham with their marketing. You're putting all your budget. A lot of these brands make majority of their like profit and sales during this 1 month. So it's a very competitive time to launch. And we were worried, like, will we get lost with like Black Friday and Cyber Monday and all these like promotions going on? But I think we just were like, nah, like we're just going to give it a go and then really go ham with the next two and just kind of keep building from there.
How do you decide what's worth developing and promoting and marketing and what's not when you're thinking about what product you're going to launch next?
I think we just try to think like, is this something that stands out in the market? Like, is this something like you, like, as I said earlier, like we're consumers too, like would we want to buy this? And then it's like, I think what was really fun about the last two was we came up with like a really cool campaign. Well, I thought it was really cool. With like the ballerinas campaign, and the glass and sorry, the ice. And I think that whole process of bringing that campaign to life was just so much fun. And now I'm just like so ready for like the next products because I'm like, how can we do something that's like,
you can just tell you're
bigger
such a
or better.
Creative listening.
Oh, it wasn't all me. It was not all me. We actually we worked with a killer creative agency that like helped us, and they were the ones that pitched the ballerina idea to me. I think I was wanting like, what was I even wanting to do? I knew I wanted to do the ice, but I was like, I didn't know if that was strong enough on its own. So yeah, they were like, we've got to do ballerinas. And I was like, ballerinas, but like that's not skincare. And they were like, no. Like they explained it all. It made sense. And they were like, we got to execute it like this. And I was like, you know what? Like I think it's strong. I think it will stand out.
Definitely.
And yeah, I think like that was really fun. And I think that's like the fun side of business. Obviously you have like your crappy days where you got to do like your numbers and everything like that. But when you get to do, because like I love marketing and coming up with that sort of the creative side of things, that was really fun to do. So yeah, keen for the next one. I'm like, how do we top that? Because I loved it.
Is there any product that you're really excited to develop and produce, but you haven't cracked the formula or the packaging or?
Yeah, so there's a few. It's really random. I get like ideas just so randomly, honestly. Like I love Pinterest. Do you use Pinterest?
Yeah, all the time.
I love Pinterest. I screenshot like so many things. And then I'm like, okay, I screenshot them. They're in my camera. Am I going to look at them again? I'll probably forget. So I like put this into my to-do list every week. I upload like all of my screenshots and things into different folders on like Pinterest. So I'll have like MPDs, new product development ideas, marketing ideas, like gifting ideas. I'll see a brand send like a really cool PR pack and be like, that's cool, screenshot, add it to my Pinterest. And then like I'll revisit that when I'm like trying to get in the headspace of like, okay, let's think product development, what's cool. So like, for example, I found, and I want to share this more on TikTok, like the behind the scenes of like product development. Cause I think it's really interesting. Like we saw this product, it like came up on my feed and it was like, you can do formulas that are like, kind of at like a pH level where it's like a blush and you apply, it's like a stick, but it's purple and you apply it and it like matches, it like blends with your like skin tone and the melanin in your skin and it like creates a unique color for everyone. Yeah. So it's like a pH
I've
like
seen
blush.
Like the pH lip balms.
Yeah, there's like
around.
A lip oil and I was like, I saw it was like this super cool like purple, it was like in chrome packaging with the purple product and it looked so weird, but everyone was applying it and like it had like a different color for everyone. I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, would that be a weird product? Like, would people want to use that? Or so that's probably one I was like thinking about, but I try to like run my ideas by just like friends, family. But I want to start sharing them more on TikTok because I really feel like
I think it's a good insight
to see if like, okay, like, is this like maybe the product I just said is like dumb and no one would buy it, but like, I don't know, it's just good to validate. So I think we're going to start.
And I think as a business owner, you're having like constant ideas you're constantly taking when you're trying to sleep or when you're scrolling Pinterest. And
totally.
It's
That's
just
me to a T.
So filtering out the good and the bad ideas through other people's opinions, I think would be such a good idea, especially with your community that you've built as well.
I think as well, like touching on like being a small business and, you know, just being Kristen and I now, it's like everyone we work with is like a contractor, but when you're just sitting at the office and it's just kind of, you know, there'll be days like Kristen starting or it could just be me and it's like you've got all these ideas in your head, but like I feel like you definitely need to like validate or talk to other people about them because it's like, I don't know, you don't do those like typical kind of meetings you do in like big teams and things like that. Like coming from like previous jobs or experience I've had when we've been in teams, like a whole marketing team. It's like you get to kind of validate those ideas with everyone within the team. Whereas when you're like a small business owner, it can be like super lonely. And I think that, you know, that's just something that comes with kind of doing your own thing or starting your own business. But yeah, so I definitely think that that's when we like to, hone in back on the social media, like the community, because it's so important.
Do you ever feel the pressure to expand quickly within this industry because it is so fast-paced? Do you feel the pressure, or do you feel like you want to keep things slow-paced and intricate?
I definitely think you need to be fast and agile. I just think that there's like brands. I mean, it is really hard as a small business because beauty brands honestly are so expensive to start and run just because, like I said, like the MOQs are so high. So I mean, it depends on like how much funding you've got really. Like it's kind of like at the end of the day, like how much can you invest? Because you could come out with a product every 2 months if you had the money to do that. But like, you know, as a small business, you know, realistically that's really hard to do. And you've got brands like, you know, like Rhemy and Summer Fridays coming out with new products like every 2 months. And that's a full strategy. It's like Skims, like they're like even with fashion, like they're coming out with new products.
Interested,
You kind of stay top of mind, you stay relevant. Product launches are such a good way again to like continue building brand awareness. Like maybe no one will hear of you until like the 4th product launch. So it really just depends on budget and like how much you can invest. But for small businesses, it's a lot harder because, you know, you don't have that much money to kind of play with. So things do take quite a bit of time. But yeah, I think trying to maybe like release something every 3 months is pretty good if you can. Awesome. 3 to 4 months probably. But I wouldn't launch like a product once a year. I feel like there's only so much.
You really have to stay top
even
of mind.
We were struggling a bit. We were like, okay, there's only so much you can do with Jelly Plump. Like come out with new content ideas and things like that. When you've just got the one product, I'm like, okay, now I feel like we actually are ready for like 2 new products. Like let's just come on, like let's launch, like let's create a bit of a range now. Yeah,
definitely. Where do you see Prime in 5 years? Obviously, you made such a point on having that plan of 3 to 5 years. Where do you see Prime in 5 years?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's such a loaded question.
In an ideal world, I would love it to be like on shelf somewhere. I think the main thing with skincare is a lot of people told me from the start, or like even just other business founders and people in the industry, that skincare is like one of the hardest categories to sell online if you're just in e-commerce. It's very, very hard to think about it. Like, you can't try the product. Like with fashion, you can buy the top. If it doesn't fit, you can return it. Whereas with skincare, it's like it's the barrier to purchase is extremely hard because you can't physically go anywhere to try the product. You don't know if it's going to like react on your skin. People are a bit more hesitant. So, and like we knew that going into it as well, that it was going to be a bit hard. So it has been a bit more of I think it's been a bit of a slower burn than anticipated, but that's just, you know, that's part of like the challenges and how do you convince people, you know, through activations or through set product send outs and things like that. And I think ideally, like being on shelf, because think about like I buy majority or used to buy majority of my skincare like in store or like I'd only order online if I was like restocking a product that I'd run out of or something like that. But
or if it's gone viral
I'm like, oh my God, I need this product. Which I do. Like I'll buy viral products. I'm a sucker. So I think, ideally being like in store would be really cool. Which store, I don't know, but
whatever's the
got
fit
a few
at the
goals,
time.
yeah, for sure.
Have you ever spoken about maybe ending up in makeup, wellness, or any other categories in the future?
We totally have. I think we do really want to go into like the cosmetic hybrid space because I think with those sorts of product, I think it's easier to kind of get people to buy or to try the product. Like if it's a lip product, I feel like you're less hesitant to buy because you're like, oh, like, you know, it's a lip product. I'm not worried if it's going to like react with my skin and things like that. So I don't know if I saw like a killer campaign and I saw like everyone trying this viral lip product. I mean, there was this really cool example of one that I've been seeing everywhere. Do you know that brand? It's like Reform. I've heard of it, lip pencil that's like in that. It's kind of like a lip contour stick, but you can use it like on your nose and lip, and it's just gone viral. And I'm like, wow, like great marketing, because like I want to buy it now, and
I want to buy it so bad.
Yeah,
because I do use my lip liners on my nose and my eyes.
Oh my god, you should get. I feel like you would like it, but yeah, it's got like a blender on one side. I'm like, this is such a cool product because it's like I think they only launched with like 2 colors, and it's like it's gone viral, and like that's really all it takes. And I think that the barrier for people to be like, okay, I'll go on the website and I'll buy it is like, I don't know, it's just easy for people to do that because I don't know, there's like less risk or hesitation because it's like a cosmetic product almost, like a beauty product. So yeah, skincare is a bit different. So yeah, we're definitely thinking about going into that space for sure.
Yeah, and I love a makeup product that has skincare in it as well.
Totally.
I feel like it's becoming such a big space recently as well.
It is. It definitely is. I think like Kosas are really good at doing that. Yeah, so many brands are now tapping into like those hybrid products for sure because the consumer now wants, that's what they want. Even like
and
SPF
clean beauty
and stuff.
Yeah,
clean beauties. Yeah, I mean, look at like Naked Sundays. They are going like they're doing so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love seeing what like their product launches are. They come up with like the coolest stuff.
If you could collab with anyone, if it's like another brand or creator, what would the dream be? Dream collab?
Ooh. That is a good question. I haven't actually like really thought about that. I think I really, this is so random, but I really love, do you know the brand Crown Affair?
No.
They're a hair care brand and I love their marketing. They're super cool. Actually, I feel like I'd love to do like a fashion brand.
Yeah. There's been so many brand collabs
that would be cool
going on lately where it's like food and fashion brands coming together or
totally. Even for like we were saying Australian Fashion Week, like we had 2 brands reach out to us to if we were interested in being like the like skin sponsor for their runway shows and like, you know, using the products on the models for like skin prep and things like that. It just didn't align for us. Yeah, I was like I didn't even think of that this was like an opportunity you can like have with being in beauty. It's so cool. And like I think if we had more products and were a bit bigger, I would have actually considered it because it does require a bit of a media investment. But I didn't even know that was like an avenue that you can even go down. So I was like, that's really cool because I like get to go to Fashion Week and experience it. And like we were talking about it before we got on here, but like just how fun like that industry is as well. So that would be really cool. Probably like a fashion brand.
What point do you think, obviously you're going to continuously grow and as you're growing you don't always notice the small achievements you have, but when do you think you would have a moment, at what point in your career with Prime do you think you'd have the moment of realizing that you kind of did this and you've had a little I made it moment? What would that point in time look like for you?
That's actually a very good question because I think like I actually touched on this. I went really rogue at our event and like went off like we were doing the speech and I went totally off the script because I was like thinking about it and I was like, I feel like there's a lot of people out there, but I'm definitely like this. I don't really take the time to like reflect often and like
it's so easy to get caught up.
Yeah, never feel like fulfilled or like proud of myself when
I feel that.
I don't know, just because you're kind of like in it, you're doing it every day. I don't know, like I just
you're
people
so
always like congratulations, it looks amazing, but I'm like, oh thanks, like congrats for what? Like I feel like I haven't really done anything yet.
Imposter syndrome.
But yeah, like honestly, like even that event, like just seeing everyone there and just that night was like so special and so fun that everyone came to celebrate. I think I definitely reflected that night and that's when I went really rogue and off script. And yeah, I don't know, just things like that. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know when
the moments where you get to step back and
you actually
see it in front of you.
Yeah, I think like someone I know, they put all their achievements into like a little like a vision board, mood board sort of thing, and they look at that whenever they're feeling uninspired or not motivated because there's definitely days where you feel like that, and I think I maybe need to do that because I don't really take the time enough. But yeah, I don't know. I think I just love like doing like the events and stuff and everyone's just there like celebrate Prime. I'm like, okay, this is cool. This is like a bit of an I made it moment because everyone's here to celebrate you and like your products you brought out.
Definitely.
So yeah.
And even the community you've made obviously online, but also in the industry, the models, the creators.
You meet so many people.
There's
it's
so many
fun.
People. And the people that back you that you've only just started, the people that already back you, the group of people that you have at your events as well is so insane. And I look
everyone
around and
is,
I'm
so
like, this is so
lovely,
cool.
and it's just so fun. Like I genuinely love meeting new people. Like I miss being in like a working team environment because I'm super chatty and I love meeting new people. So like when we get to do like events or those activations like we did last week in Sydney, like it's so much fun because I don't know, everyone's like, everyone's just like in the kind of the same industry sort of, like you got a lot of common interests, like people are always like, I don't know, everyone there is so friendly and like
there for the same reason.
So it's just great. So much fun. And like a lot of those people that we've met even like from the first event, like are now friends, and it's just great. Like it's so much fun. So they're like definitely like the fun moments for sure.
Yeah. When you were growing your community that you have on your social pages, what do you think was one strategy or tactic that really made you stand out or worked for your company personally?
I think just like honestly like the consistency was really important. Just constantly showing up in people's feeds again. Like the posts we were making at the time, they took so long to like create because they weren't just like they weren't just like a cool photo we found and we posted it. It was like information, like we needed to fact check it. We needed to find it. We needed to create the post. And I feel like Chloe back in the day like would have been so sick of having to make all those posts because we literally like got her to like make majority of them toward the end. But like I think just, being consistent is really important. And honestly, we're even doing like the basic things. Like my advice, like the follow for follow stuff, like it sounds so old school, but it works.
Yeah.
And like we were doing that, like we would sit there day and night just like following creators or people and like doing that to build like awareness and grow your following because it's so hard to start from the ground up now unless like I said, like you've got a following to like promote it. But a lot of people, like I don't know, it's very hard, but there are people that have done it. Like that brand Crown Affair that I just told you about before. Check them out after. Their branding's so cool. It's like hair care, but it's like so aesthetic. I love it. And they're in Mecca. But that founder, I follow her on TikTok. She started that account with like 0 followers. And it's like, look at her now. She's in like Mecca, like Sephora. She's doing so well. And it's like, there are people, like you can do it. You know what I mean? So I think it's just, it depends like how much you want it really.
Yeah.
Just put the effort in. I feel like the effort you put in, you'll get the results for sure.
We're going to finish with some rapid fire questions.
Okay, fun.
Yes. Yeah. So don't think too hard. Just top of your head.
Okay.
First thing that comes to your mind.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Toner or serum?
Serum.
Glowy skin or matte finish?
Oh, glowy.
Mascara or your lip combo? Oh. I know. I was thinking about this when I wrote
mascara.
it. I was like, no.
Nah, I feel like mascara really makes a difference. You just look more like awake.
I can't live without my lip combo.
Really?
My lip liner,
when you got like non-existent lashes, definitely mascara is needed because I like look like a bald rat. But yeah.
Clean girl aesthetic or full beat?
I like clean, minimal.
Jade roller or gua sha?
I like both. But I'm going to say I'm actually like the jade roller because it's similar to Ready to Glow. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True. Minimal routine or 10-step skincare?
Totally minimal. Yeah. 10-step. I just don't like, who has the time? I mean, unless you're like, you really want like a meal day and you're taking it slow. Yeah, but honestly, like, no, get it quick, get it done.
High-end skincare or drugstore?
I feel like you can do both. I used to really think, I'm like, just because I used to like believe, you know, high end, I'm like, it's better for you. It's got better ingredients, but it's so not the case. Like it's really just marketing and people putting margins on it. Like drugstore's just as good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you rather never use moisturizer again or never use cleanser again?
Never use cleanser. Have you seen that girl on TikTok that's doing that like caveman thing right now?
No.
So she's not washing her face. She hasn't washed her face for like.
But does she wear makeup?
She hasn't washed her face for a month, and her skin is like shit. Oh, it's called like if you Google like caveman like TikTok girl, it's like she's like not cleansing her face at all, and all the skin, the dead skin's like building up and sitting on her face, and I'm like, I could just never do that. It's whack.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so cleanser for sure.
Would you rather launch a product that flops or never launch the idea at all?
Product that flops, because then you learn, like you know what you did wrong. If you never launch it, like you're always gonna think, okay, like what if it actually took off. And I mean, even with Prime, like me and Kristen, there was a point we were like, with all the setbacks, we got really unmotivated. We're like, can we even still do this? And then our dads were actually the ones that were like, no, it's a failure if you don't launch it, because it's like you'll just never know.
Yeah.
You won't learn. And, you learn so much from your mistakes and failures for sure.
If Prime had a scent, what would it smell like?
Oh, like that jelly. I really want to make a candle of like the jelly plump scent. Like I just
like
want
how Cook Guy has the perfume now.
Yes,
and the candle
I actually,
diffuser.
That's maybe something we should look into doing. Like if we
Product
purchase
idea.
like a candle or like room spray,
Yeah.
probably the jelly plump smell.
What excites you more, packaging mock-ups or product samples?
Oh, that's a tricky one. I love packaging samples. Like I don't know. I love trialing the products and the samples, but I think just something about packaging is really fun, really cool.
And what is the first product you fell in love with other than your own?
Oh, that's really hard because I have a lot of go-to products. Randomly, honestly, like I was just a sucker back in the day for the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. I was like, I love that you could use it different ways. Like you can wear it on its own, high points of the face. I was like, this is such a great multi-purpose product. So probably that one.
What is a skincare step you secretly skip? Tongue twister.
I mean, I don't always tone my face. I know
I've
people
never
say
used
you're
a
meant to.
toner.
Yeah, a lot of people don't use toner. I do if I'm feeling like really congested or like, I mean, I don't know, like, yeah, probably that. If that's like a traditional, like step that you do, probably that.
Do you ever skip sunscreen?
This is
I'm really
controversial.
bad for it.
Yeah, I am such an advocate for sunscreen because obviously like in the space. Do I wear it every day? No. I skip my sunscreen. I'm really fussy. There's actually there's one from Naked Sundays that I love, and if you hate because I just like don't like the consistency. I just think I don't know. There's this one from Naked Sundays. It's like a water-based gel serum one, like kind of like the Clinique Moisture Surge.
Yeah.
Moisturizer that's like been around for ages. It's kind of like that consistency, but it's a sunscreen. So I feel like it's not sunscreen when I put it on my face. So I've been trying to use that one, and I actually find that I'm reaching for it more, which is good.
If it's not right in front of me, I always forget to use it.
Yeah, and it like
90%
smells
of the
weird,
time.
and like some of them leave like the white. Nah, I need to find like a really good go-to
Maybe
sunscreen.
that's something for
Prime.
the future.
I know, sunscreen. It's a tricky one, that one, because there's so much testing involved and it's actually really expensive to launch, but never
One
say
day down the
never.
line.
Yeah, never say never.
What is one beauty trend you wish would disappear forever?
What do I think is silly? Oh, what's one that you think is?
Don't turn this on me.
I know, I'm asking you the question.
What do I want?
What's a silly? I feel like I say so many dumb things all the time. But I just can't
Nowadays,
think of
it's
one.
just like things for clicks and views that I'm just like, it's not.
Oh, I know. I mean, it's not really trend, but you know that Meredith girl who
The
like
10 pumps.
the 10 pump, she does like da da da, and then she like puts it all on her face, and it's like everyone. I'm like, that is using so much product, and like, how do you even blend that out?
Yeah.
Like that just stresses me out. So probably that.
One thing that I haven't tried, so I can't really be one to judge completely, but underpainting.
Yeah, I
feel
haven't really tried that either.
It makes a buildup of product because I feel I would just go in over top again with the same products.
Yeah,
But I have to try it.
I see. I actually we had our makeup done for the event 2 weeks ago, and the makeup artist actually did like the contouring underneath. Like I think it's like called the Mary Phillips technique. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, you going? Because I always like asking questions like, what are you putting on now? And she's like, I'm doing the contour before the foundation. I was like, oh my God, okay, interesting.
Did she put the foundation over the contour or just
over
next
it,
to it?
on top? And I was like, this is so interesting that you'd put it like the other way around. But I don't know, it looks good, so maybe need to try it.
Thank you so much for being here and coming when you're in the midst of all this chaos.
Oh my God, don't be
Recent
silly.
launch.
I was so excited when you reached out. I was like, of course, I would. I'd be so honored to come on. Like, yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
I mean, I've been watching Prime for
no, you're like
4
an
years
OG
now.
for sure.
I love your guys' journey, and I think
Thank
you
you.
both of you girls are so smart, and
Oh my God,
what
we're
you've
not,
got
but
coming
thank
is
you.
so incredible. I mean, even talking to you right now, I'm just like in awe. Like you
Oh my God,
guys
stop.
are obviously so intelligent.
I talk so much
and
random
love
stuff all
what
the
you
time.
do. No, and I think it's so amazing. So
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Cool.